Welcome to Mr. UFC Vegas Fight Club TV. I am Kyle, your host. Welcome to the podcast. And I just want to do a quick video because I thought it was a very interesting post recently by Conor McGregor. Want to get into that, but before I get into that, I want to remind everybody to subscribe to this channel. If you like UFC and you like gambling content in general, you're gonna love this channel. Subscribe, like, comment, get involved. I'm always very active in the chat and the comment section, so get involved, and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. So today I want to talk about real quickly is Conor McGregor saying that he is staying ready for what? What is he getting ready for? What is he staying ready for? And the funny part about something like this is you can dive into it, you can look at it, you can analyze posts, people write things constantly on social media, but for him to write something that, that he's, staying ready is, I guess, slightly a shot or a play at Tony or Khabib, and the fact that the fight has not been happening, they've tried multiple times, there's been weight issues and all other types of things that are going on around this fight, which actually adds a little bit more to this fight. But the fact that he's pretending or thinking that he's ready for the fight is interesting to me. And I think that for somebody like him right now, that has not announced if he's going to fight the winner or if he's not going to fight the winner, or where he's at in getting back into the cage and defending his title, or does he even keep the title? And there's been so many conflicting reports, even through the conversations that I've had with people in the comment section. People are saying, hey, I've heard, he's gonna fight. He's definitely gonna fight the winner. And then people are saying, he's a millionaire. He's never gonna fight again. So nobody has, even as much as we all are in tune with the UFC and with what's going on, it's funny how things play out and how it's turned into almost a WWE kind of atmosphere when you look at a situation or two fighters wanting to fight and saying that stay ready, that he's ready to fight right now is, listen, I'm a huge fan of his. Obviously we've all been following him, but I really enjoy the build up and what he has done and the balls that he has had and being able to go up and fight Nate Diaz and putting, things on the back burner, his title, just for basically respect, and refighting, Nate after the fact that he had lost and wanting to do it at the same weight and do it again. And those are things that really make a fighter. And you cannot take that away from him. There's no way that you can ever take that away from him. He has excelled at multiple levels, been a multiple champion in other organizations. Something like that you cannot take away from him. But he is a master when it comes to mind games. But before we get into that, I'm going to have a quick one. Good. So, but you know what? He's a master at that. He's a master at pretending certain things. I really think, honestly, what was going on with the Frankie Edgar situation, where Frankie Edgar was going to fight Max Holloway. Max Holloway obviously wasn't able to fight. Brian Ortega comes in, and all of a sudden Conor McGregor comes out and says, I was going to fight him. It's the timing of everything that he says. It's almost that he's able to just stay enough relevant. Of course he's relevant. It's not like he's unrelevant. He's very relevant. But where he's able to put himself in the middle of pay-per-views. He's able to still put his name at UFC, at the last event, and having a pay-per-view event, and in the UFC where there's just so much going on, he's still able to do a couple things and say, hey, I would have fought Frankie. And then Frankie's like, we don't know what, we never heard from you. There was no conversation, which of course he could have went to the UFC, and the UFC said, no, we're not even going to get Frankie Edgar and his team involved. We're not even going to have a conversation about it. So that's a possibility also. But he's able to just find his way into these pay-per-views or these events when he's not even on the card. And here's another one where this is going to be a massive card. UFC 223 is a huge card. UFC 222 at the time, Cyborg card, him, and still he's able to just say enough to get into the conversation of a pay-per-view and, hey, well, Conor McGregor would have stepped in, and we're not talking about the fighters on the card. Now we're at UFC 223, and the same thing's kind of happening where, he's hinting at certain things, and Dana White has hinted at certain things, and obviously they're in communication, they're talking, they're definitely at a point where they're very close. They've each made a lot of money off of each other, so I'm sure they're friends. I'm sure they're deeper conversations than anything we're even hearing. But it's the fact that he's still able to find his way into, for him to even say that he would step in for if, say Tony Ferguson hurts his leg. Really hope that doesn't happen, because I really hope that Khabib and Tony fight. But say something like that was to happen. Would he step in and fight? Would he really step in and fight Khabib, and all of a sudden it becomes, I guess he defends his title? Things like that, it just starts to really, make things a little more difficult. Instead of him just saying, listen, winner of this, I'm fighting, and I don't care who it is. But to kind of play around and do all these kind of things, that's where, to me, for his legacy, he has to go in, when whoever wins this fight, I don't care if, I really hope it's Khabib. One, I feel like that's where I'm putting my money. But two, I also feel like that is such a tough matchup for him. And I want to see what Conor's going to do. I want to see if he's going to put, again, himself on the line and say, listen, I'm not going to run away from this. And recently, even Khabib's coach, one of his top coaches, has come out and said he is absolutely scared of Khabib. Conor McGregor is absolutely scared of Khabib. There's no way that fight's going to happen. It won't happen. And they don't even believe it. His team doesn't even believe it. That's why you continually hear Khabib saying, I don't care about Conor McGregor. Because at least the team believes that there is not a chance that fight's going to happen, because of the fact that he feels like he's scared of him. He feels like that he's not going to fight him. He feels like he's maybe waiting to see if Tony Ferguson pulls this off, and then he's going to fight Tony Ferguson. Not like Tony Ferguson is some slouch by any means. I mean, I still think that's a tough matchup for Conor. But when you've got a guy who's going to maul you on the ground and ground and pound you, and maybe, as we have had some other videos about that, possibly one of the scariest guys in the UFC, I don't know if Conor's ready for that. I don't know, especially how long he's been out. He's been enjoying his money. Is the hunger there? The hunger's there for those two guys. Khabib and Tony, the hunger is there. But is the hunger there for Conor to continue his legacy? I mean, that's, and there was even I was looking up and doing some research just on this entire topic. You look back to right after the Mayweather fight, you heard Dana White saying that, I'm not even sure if Conor McGregor is going to ever be in the octagon again. So things like that is where it starts to change the tune of who he is. He never defended his lightweight title. Things like that. It does hurt him, not taking away from any of his talent, but it does hurt him. I don't think that it makes it an easy situation for him. Now that he's put it out there and he's hinting towards that he's staying ready, meaning that if one of these guys do back out, he's ready to step in, that would be an all-time unbelievable gangster move, as if he came in there and one of these guys fell out and he stepped in. I really hope that doesn't happen, because I just hope the winner of this fight fights Conor, and we're able to get a crystal clear picture of what's happening in that division. Quenching. So, that's where you look at it. And for me in general, you really look at it and you say, listen, whoever wins this fights Conor, end of story, and let's just move on. You know what I mean? Let's just move on. So I just wanted to get this video out there today. I'm having a couple beers, wanted to at least get this out, because I find tweets and things like that in this day and age, which I actually may do another video on just how the social media aspect has changed MMA, which is very odd that the two even are that tight, but they are very intertwined now. And you see, even recently, you see, Derek Lewis, trash talking Ngannou. Ngannou was able to quickly answer, and then we can all see it. And that's the fact that continually happens. That cross path between social media and MMA world is continually crossing paths, and then people that are in the media or people that are just reporting or analysts look at it and they can dive into the conversation so quickly. They can really put themselves in the middle of the conversation because it's happening on a social media platform and everyone can see it. So it's very interesting dynamic how that changes, and now fights are happening because two guys are talking trash on social media and all of a sudden a fight evolves from that. So again, maybe I'll do I'll do a video separately on just that part of it because I find that very interesting of how things have changed. I mean, what if social media was around when Hoist Gracie and Shamrock used to fight? It's just, when Liddell and Couture, when they were fighting, and how that, it's just funny how things change, with technology and how people can lobby for certain titles, title opportunities or fights and that whole thing too. So I'm kind of rambling here, but let me know what you guys think in general, and what you think about this. Do you think Conor really would step in? Do you think this is just, hey, him kind of flexing his muscles, saying, hey, I'll step in, but maybe he doesn't really mean it? Do you think he's even going to fight Khabib or Tony once the dust settles from UFC 222? So we'll see what happens. Wanted to get this video out to all you guys. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe if you have not. This is Mr. UFC Vegas Fight Club TV.